scissor in hand, and I'm ready to go. Hi. So I am going to retouch up my bang, show you how I cut my bang, and I really just want to show you these little tips and tricks that I learned because I have cut my bang very badly before. Like literally I meant to have it here, it ended up here. So bad. It took me like, I don't know, like 6 to 8 months just to have it grow back and look normal. So I don't want you making that mistake. I don't want me to make that mistake. So these are some tips and tricks that I learned to cut my bang, and as a bonus, I am going to actually cut my bang. For me, one of the most important rules that I have when it comes to cutting my bang, especially for curly hair, is the state that my hair is in. I do not cut my bang on wash day. Majority of the time I would cut it on day 2 or day 3. The reason for this is because that's literally how my hair is going to be majority of the time. It's not like you're gonna wash your hair every single day. On either day 2 or day 3, chances are I've used product in my hair, I've slept on my hair, I've wrapped my hair up, I've done at least 1 refresh. So that's really just how my hair is going to be majority of the time when it's not in a bun. Yeah, this right here is day 2 hair. As you can see, there is some frizz to it. Not all my curls are perfectly laid. There was a little refresh just on the end so I could just see how my hair curls, but also just really see where my hair is at on a regular basis, not just on wash day, but just a regular basis. Also, another reason why I don't like to cut my hair on wash day is my hair is different every single wash day. It doesn't always come out the same. Sometimes I have bigger curls, sometimes I have smaller curls. But when I do day 2 or day 3 and I've refreshed my curls at least in the morning, I can kind of control, depending on what brush I use, how my curls will come out. So it's a bit more controlled and it's easier to work with that way. Now that we got the basis of where your curls should be before you cut, it's also the question of how far back should you go? Should you just pick a spot back here? Should you just call it a day, or just start small and work your way back? It's way easier than that. And I'm gonna use my handy dandy little comb and I'm literally going to put this, bam, right on top of my head. And this is going to tell me how far back I should go. It's going to tell everybody how far back you should go. And you might wonder, how is a comb on the top of my head going to tell me how far back I should cut, or the furthest I should go? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you turn your head to the side, you're going to see there's a part where your comb actually comes up. So it's a bit hard to see because my hair is curly. I'm gonna just flatten it down, but you can see right up there, that's where the comb just stays flat and it doesn't go to my head. That's the farthest back you should go. That point where that comb is touching your head, right before it comes off of it, because that's like the middle point of your head. That's the shape of your head. Ideally, you don't want to go further back because it's gonna kind of look weird. And it's just not gonna be aligned with just the shape of your head in general and your whole face shape and everything, because that's just what you naturally have, and that's honestly the crown point of your head. So yeah, that's how you find it. That's how far back you should go. So as you can see, my hair kind of is already aligned, but also just to see where or how far you should cut, this essentially is my bang. And as you can see, it doesn't go all the way. It doesn't go all the way to the edge on both sides. It cuts a bit short, so it's kind of like, where do I put it? It's kind of like eyebrow. It's like right at the end of the eyebrow on both ends. And the reason for this is because anything after that, if you cut it too far, it's just gonna look really blunt and it's just gonna make your face look weird. But if you start your bang a little bit before that, it kind of shapes your face up nice. But on top of that, this part that's right at the edge, you have room to blend it into the rest of your hair, instead of it just being so blunt and then making the rest of your hair look thinner because your bang is so wide, versus having something that fills out your face and then just giving a little edge to kind of blend right into the rest of your hair. So that way your hair doesn't look too, I don't know how to say, like, it's not thin, but just not as full. And then also so your bang doesn't look so wide and then you have this like weird shape. So yeah, it should be at the brows at least. Kind of, that's the furthest you should go. So since I'm going to cut pretty much a curtain bang, what goes through my head is, how often am I going to part my hair when I am not going to have my bang in my face? So some people like a center part, which I've been doing a bit more frequently. And yes, my forehead is big now that my hair is not there. Other people like a side part, or other side part. But essentially the reason why I'm asking is because wherever you part your hair on a regular, ideally that should be the shortest curl you should have. That should be your starting point. That should be your measurement for everything. And for me personally, I've been doing center parts more frequently lately, so I am going to do a center part. Now my last bit of advice before we even start cutting is, whatever mirror you are using to cut your hair, make sure it's aligned with you. Don't lift your head up too much because you might end up cutting too short. Don't put your head down too much because you might end up cutting too high. You want to keep your face straight and even when you cut. That way you could at least be more aware of where you're cutting. And this is something, like I said, I cut my bangs bad one time. I had my head down. It lined up when it was down, but when I lifted my head up, it was just whoosh up here. And I did not want it to be there. So yeah, like I said, I mainly do a center part. So I'm going to pick the curl. It's right kind of there in the middle. I'm gonna look at it, how it curls naturally, and I'm just going to kind of keep aware of that. Pull and then just oh my gosh. So see, I'm actually cutting my hair. So that is my shortest point. That's nothing else will go higher than that. Everything's gonna be aligned with that. And on top of that, if I want, I can just kind of round it out and kind of go a bit longer than each, or I can match length. Ideally, I do recommend kind of like rounding it out a bit, just because it helps when you get to the edge and kind of blend it all in. But yeah, so I'm gonna keep going with that as my lowest point. So like I said, I grab the curl, I'm aware of where it lines up with, and then I just cut right there. Let's pull that out. This one. So as you can see, this one right here is the last when it comes to my edge. I don't have that many curls at the front. So I'm aware of where it is, kind of right there. And I'm gonna just cut. And then these ones, they like to curl up a bit more. I'm just gonna pull them out a bit. And I have two left on this side. So this one is not as much just because of how the curls curl themselves. Okay, that's there. This one there. And then just this last one. And as you can see so far, nothing goes above that first cut. Nothing at all. Just like that. And like I said, for the part that is where your bang ends, you should have maybe like 1 or 2 curls there. that you could use to kind of layer it into your hair. You could kind of do a little diagonal cut or make it shorter just so it blends in. For me, I'm gonna just cut a little bit shorter. So you see my curl is up here, I cut that one there, and then the next curl is a bit further down, but it kind of just does that nice shape and kind of rounds out and shapes my face. So same thing's gonna happen over here, just like that. And as you can see, the bang is kind of cut nice, it's even, it lines up with my curls, so each and every single curl is treated differently because as you can see, this curl is a bit tighter than this one, so I don't want to just pull it straight and then cut. I want to kind of just keep that curl in place as I'm cutting and be aware of where it goes up to. So now that that's done, I'm just gonna flip. And yeah, this is how I cut a curly curtain bang, and it just, this is good. It just lines up, it works with your face, and on top of that, it's easy to do. Because I cut a center part, I'm just gonna show you, it parts so easily in the center and it still is lined up. But yeah. So if you do try this to cut your curly hair, let me know if my advice helped. Let me know how it worked out for you. Show me your bangs. All right, in the comments below. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye. Ooh, my forehead looks big. Oh my gosh, let's hide it.